Welcome to the Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary. This is your host, Scotty B. Friends, one of the most versatile and smart cosplayers that I have met to date. Our next guest takes you on not just a cosplay journey, but a fitness journey as well. Her videos are clean, polished, and you will work like no nerd has ever worked before. Clever and sassy in her approach, but inviting and warm in the content that she shares on her channel throughout social media. A very hard worker, dedicated to her craft and sharing her passion with you. Please welcome Noble Porpoise to the show.
Oh my gosh, like I'm already just like, wow, so embarrassed. You're too nice. And like, what an intro. I'm like, oh, my heart.
No, I love your channel. I'll say it 1,000 times probably as we're going through this. It's so great to see everything that you're doing on YouTube. I want to talk just at length about the things that you're doing, your inspirations, of course, your origins. But before we get into all of that, we actually do have something in common other than cosplay. We both know Sunny Lenarduzzi very well, and I'll do my best to send some sort of clip out there and tag her on it so that she knows that she's gotten into the cosplay world. There's more than one of us now, Sunny, and yes, it's so cool to meet a fellow boss in the area. I'll shamelessly promote Sunny on the show. I guess cosplay origins, but also how did you find out about Sunny Lenarduzzi?
I feel like I first discovered her podcast. I used to do a lot of glassware washing at my lab, and I needed a podcast to listen to as I was doing just like cleaning beakers and stuff. So I was interested in learning more about just like social media strategy, and hers was one of the first that popped up on Spotify. And I have like fallen into a hole of social media YouTubers and podcasters. It's like an never-ending source of both like just fun logic puzzles of algorithm cracking and just like neat personalities out there who are into all this stuff.
Wow. Well, Sunny is absolutely a game changer. I will recommend her to anybody in the space, or any space for that matter, anybody who's trying to do something on YouTube. She is so great with everything that she offers. Her content's amazing. She's pivoted a lot. She's grown a lot. Yes, and you have done some just wonderful things with your channel. So cool, so clean, and you've got just a lot of things going on. You have downloadable product. You've got content going on to multiple channels and different things going on in different areas. And you do a lot of this yourself. Your handle, Noble Porpoise, actually comes from the 1966 Batman movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're the first person to like know about that beforehand. I need to like just put that in my about or something, because it's like a secret hidden Easter egg of like my social media presence. That happened. We were just watching that movie on VCR, me and my cosplay buddies from high school, and that line came on, and it's just like, oh, that seems like a good thing. I'm gonna stick with that, even though it's very hard to spell and say. Perfect. It's exactly what you want in a handle for social media.
Going in the Wayback Machine, I guess, cosplay wise, you have a guitar behind you. Super cool. It's one of the first things that I noticed on your channel as I was just like, what is that? I just had to look. You've got this blue and purple, ultra custom looking guitar. It's kind of in the shape of a flame, which dates back to MetroCon 2016. It goes with your Ember McLean cosplay, for which there is a song called Remember. I'm not terribly familiar with the song, can't sing it for everybody, but it's super accurate. Like that is really what the guitar looks like in the show. From where it comes from, it's her guitar. Like that's just the way it looks. Would you like to talk more about the build and how you came up with that for MetroCon?
Sure. Yeah, it was like it's been through several different iterations at this point. Yeah, the 2016 version, I had acquired this guitar from my then boyfriend, now fiance's brother, who was very into music. And this was actually his first guitar, but it didn't work anymore. So I was hoping to be able to thrift something. And it just so happened that I knew somebody who knew somebody who had a broken guitar. So he gave it to me and he let me gut it, which I'm sure was a little bit painful to watch. It's like, oh, my first guitar is just in pieces and is covered in Gorilla Glue and paper mache. The first iteration of it was very two-dimensional, kind of more show accurate. And then I feel like I really fell into the whole cell shading style of cosplay with Borderlands and Don't Starve. And I was like in the middle of that phase of painting with builds when I had reworked this one. And I was like, don't cell shade it, Jessica. Don't cell shade it, Jessica. And it's like, I cell shaded it, didn't I? A little bit, but it turned out really fun, and like lots of new like materials and paint knowledge came into it and shading, and I'm just like really happy with how it turned out. It's one of my favorite props still. And yeah, Ember's just like one of those really cool characters that like I feel like we can all remember it. We can remember when she came on screen for the first time and just like, wow, I want to be her. And then it happened like, I don't know, a decade later.
I love all the detail, all of really the evolution of the cosplay, how it started, how it's going. You sound like you just have a ton of things to balance outside of this. You have a graduate's degree, career, everything kind of happening side by side with cosplay. I guess a question for you, and really just curious because I have a lot of balance. It's a fairly tough balancing act myself, and I don't even produce that many cosplays. That keeping everything fairly separate. How do you manage it with this sort of all-consuming, very expensive cosplay hobby that takes over so much space sometimes in the day-to-day?
And physical space, just like I need a whole room for all of this stuff these days. But
Yes,
yeah,
studios take up a bit of space. They do.
it's definitely been a balancing act throughout my cosplay journey. I started back in high school, and it's definitely been a ramp up. I used to only do maybe 1 or 2 costumes a year. And initially I didn't have any social media presence at all. Like years and years ago, I was just like lurking on everybody's pages, like seeing photos of our groups and what we did, like blow up on other people's stuff. And I was just like, that's too much attention for me. I don't want that. Everybody's commenting on my eyebrows. Why my eyebrows? So, yeah, I think I really peaked output wise in 2019. Just like having cons and meetups every other weekend. And like I was really dedicated to posting daily on Instagram. And now I feel like I'm in a more downward slope right now, still working, but probably more effort and strategy into individual posts rather than throughout that process. It's definitely been a juggle. Like I was doing less while I was in school because you don't really have free time or a lot of disposable income as a student. And
Yeah.
that's just what happens. And then 2019, I was a research coordinator at a lab, and I was making more than no money pretty much as a student, and had a lot more nights and weekends to be able to make stuff and go to places with friends and just like cosplay all the time, every day. I just kind of did another 180 in 2020 and did a coding boot camp actually, and have totally shifted my career from being like a research coordinator and a published scientific author to just I'm a code person now. And yeah, it's like I can't figure out where I want to spec in cosplay or in life. It's just like I'm every different field now and every different like wig making, prop building, sewing. I'm just like I can't pick just one.
Cosplay is a really good place to be for people who are multi-passionate, or they're just good at a lot of different things like yourself. Because you use so many different skills to put everything together. You have to, you could learn 3D printing, you could learn how to use foam, you have to know how to paint everything, you need to know how to weather stuff, sand it, and there's all this construction and gluing, and it gets kind of messy, and then there's fabric, you have to learn how to sew everything, and that's just the cosplay. Then you have to get good at like modeling the cosplay, and then videos, you have to know like lighting and camera. You're a published author on top of all of the other amazing things that you do. That's really cool.
Just a couple, but I've got papers out.
Wow, it's YouTube Appreciation Day here on the show.
Yeah.
But we'll have all the notes so that everybody can follow and subscribe to your channel for those who I can bring your way. It's just really cool. You spend so much time with it. It's very engaging. You have very cool fitness routines that you share, and you have a whole cosplay calendar for fitness that you allow people to download right from your page. So when you created this sort of niche of picking up fitness and then picking up cosplay, how did that all come together? And what do you really like about what you share on your YouTube channel?
It's been a really fun like merging of interests again, because I have like too many, so I have to usually put them together so I can continue to do both at the same time. It's just like multitasking. This is how I exist. I'm listening to Sunny Lenarduzzi while washing beakers, or I'm doing fitness while in cosplay. It's just like I gotta juggle. So yeah, I think it started as a little bit of a joke.
Dang it! God! No, 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 no! No! Damn it! Fucking God!
Wearing pearl, actually, and we were just talking about doing pearl lattes, and that's something that I actually created several years later now. One friend who went and did the workout with me and was like, Jessica, you have to do this. Like, it's like so you and so fun, and like you can encourage people who might not otherwise be active or never had like a fun time with sports or PE growing up, because I know a lot of us have been just like bullied and just not having a good experience with athleticism just in general. Making that something that's both accessible to people and enjoyable and easy to build a routine. All of these things were something that I know that I needed when I started working out. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, I started doing Blogilates workouts on YouTube. So
with Cassie?
Cassie Ho, yeah. So she's like my original inspiration for the channel. She's so
much fun.
Yeah,
she's just always so lively and energetic. You just can't stop yourself from working out with her.
Yeah, and it's amazing. That's kind of how the ideas for calendars came about. Like when I started, I knew that my mission was to at least have enough videos for a beginner's calendar, and to eventually have enough for something like she still does is the monthly calendars, where the routines change up every month. And like it'll be quite a while before I can make a backlog like that, but I do have playlists for daily routines. The beginners calendars are much more like gentle with their ramp up, just to start with that habit building and just getting your foot in the door, because that's always the hardest part. Trying to start, but starting at full force, you're sore all the time, you can't make all the time, and just like trying to eliminate some of those barriers is what I wanted, because that's something that I know that I needed and Cassie helped me with. So
you have quite a calendar. I just popped it open here so I could take a look. And if it's okay, we can pop this up on the video as well.
yeah.
Yeah, and you break it down. I mean, this is it's intense. There's not a lot of like rest per se. I mean, there's stretching days, and then you go through abs and legs, and you have cardio, arms and back, butt, and total body. So it's really comprehensive, and I think it does look like it does a really great job of like ramping up. I would encourage people to check out your videos and try these out in order. You know, especially if you're a beginner, you might want to go in order. Start with day 1. Don't start with day 28. Might be a little too much. But yeah, that's really just amazing that you come up with all of these ideas. And it's just such a very interwoven way of sharing all of this with your audience.
It's been such a rewarding experience, just because I feel like cosplay initially was a very like not self-centered, but kind of like it is centered around myself kind of experience. Like you hope to provide inspiration and like put a smile on someone's face, but that feels so much less tangible than what you can give to somebody when like they're getting stronger. Like people come back and they leave comments that are just the sweetest thing about their progress, and just like, thank you for helping me get started. Like our experiences, I just never had the passion or like the interest in doing this, and you provided that, and it's just like, wow, I'm crying, it's happening, there are tears in my eyes, my mascara is waterproof, thankfully.
Really, just if you could talk about like your background in fitness and how you choose the cosplays that you do to use on your channel. So I know Bakuko is wonderful. It's just that works very well. But yeah, like your whole process for coming up with these ideas.
Yeah, so my background is very much like YouTube online fitness. Like I mentioned, pretty much Cassie and Chloe Ting, I recently started adding her videos for more cardio work, because I love Cassie, but she's like notorious for not liking cardio, but she's actually started to like run more, and it's like super exciting. And like just like, you always, when somebody who you look up to is also growing and adding new things to their workouts and just like finding that joy in different aspects of fitness, that's really great. I still don't like running. And I feel like Cassie's videos are very like great for strength training. And then Chloe has some cardio stuff that is just like, I can't breathe. So.
Yeah, like I'm not a big fan of cardio myself. My knees aren't a big fan of cardio is really where I'm going with that. It's I have to be very careful with my workouts, my routines, with what I do, because I guess I'm at that stage where the knees start to say, no, you can't do this to yourself anymore. I have a sore knee today from workouts. And I still have one more day to go. So but you just adjust, you just have to adjust things.
There's always modifications. And if like, you'll know the difference between like good pain and bad pain. Like this is soreness, this is use, this is like what I'm intending to do with my workout versus something sharp. And like, I don't want to injure myself or dislocate anything. And like knowing where to push and when to take it easy, I think is an important skill to learn. So I'm glad you're looking out for your knees, because I've got like I've recently started hiking a lot more, and going downhill has been a little rough. Like I need to remember to stretch, because if I don't, it's like I'm hobbling down the mountain using my hiking poles as crutches. And it's just like, stretching is important. I've finally gotten to the age where it like, you can really tell as well.
You mentioned pro cosplay. It's super fun. It's really, really well done. Love your pro cosplay. You have it on your show. And it really, not just the workout itself, but just how well done the makeup is for that cosplay. I've taken a little browse around the internet, and your look is one of the most seamless that I've seen. Really, everything that holds together so well. You do so much to just make all of the features pop on the cosplays. Really cool. Would you like to talk about how you construct that cosplay and how you navigate your workouts?
That one in particular, I was just like ready to have a blooper and like to have to call off the rest of the filming day, because I just like whoop over my nose. I have like my kit of stuff that I use for her. So I remembered what I used, like Prozaid, like KY jelly to get it smooth, weird pro hack, and the Scar Wax from Ben Nye. And I actually also use like, this time, I can't find it. It's in here somewhere. Some kind of like, I think it's another Mayron like wax sealing product to make it a little bit more durable, just because it is like a putty. So if I was to like slap my nose off, it would have just like boop, popped right off. I think I have a TikTok taking it off, and it's just like it pops right. But like I mentioned, the origin of like the cosplay workouts concepts for me came from just like joking about Pilates, like posing on a bench at MegaCon, I think, and just like doing a bunch of pikes and weird poses for the photo shoot. And it was just a little silly, a little fun. And years later, it turned into something much bigger than I expected. I know how to make everything sweat proof, apply things in layers, lots of setting spray, and then bobby pins out the wazoo in like crisscross orientations are the most stable I found, because wigs especially, I had like right before a meetup photo shoot, I had like my hair fall out of its wig cap, like weirdly in a weird egg sack. And I was like, since then, I'm like 80 bobby pins. Like I cannot be moved. I think also strategically filming helps. Like the pearl nose, usually there's always one side that's a little bit more like smooth and even than the other. So it's just like, I'm holding myself this way. I'm Pearl. This is my good nose. And filming all of the intros and outros before I do the workouts really help too, just like streamline the filming day process, and also just being a little more presentable to a camera, because I haven't done like 3 different takes of 4 different workouts. And it's just like, I'm a little messy. I'm a little sweaty.
Like, okay, now I gotta fill the B-roll stuff in and do the intro and the outro. Like, God, maybe I'll do it tomorrow because
then you have to do the makeup all over again.
Yeah, then you have to get
like,
all ready
I have
again.
to do these in one day. It's like it's a marathon. I'm like, I'm ready. This is why I have to. It's a good motivation for me to exercise every day. And one of the reasons why I've gotten into more cardio is like, I need to be able to talk, and I'm still like very out of breath, but I feel like it's also more relatable that way as well. Like it's like working out with Cassie's and bringing other people. It's like, why is she so happy? Why can she do this? And then I'm over here like in my wig, like I need a minute.
It's very different to try and do it on camera. So I applaud you for taking on. I mean, just trying to do this, first of all, like just going, okay, I'm going to commit to fitness, but not just commit to fitness, but then create content for other people to also commit to fitness with. Super challenging and very amazing that you put it together just so cohesively, and it's so seamless.
There's probably only a handful, like a literal can count on one hand number of channels doing similar things right now, but I feel like thanks YouTube for knowing who to recommend to me. And I'm like, I'm finding everybody. I'm like commenting on giving you guys all the 100% watch time retention. It's like, I'm rooting for you. So it's like creators supporting creators is the best way that I think we know how to like support each other. And like, we know what the analytics are. We know like what actions are gonna help out the most and what we want to see. So yeah, it's been fun. I did one collaboration video with the Fit Cosplayer in particular. So working out with him was really fun for our Pokemon video.
One of the great things about the YouTube space is it's great for how to. It's great for cosplay, because cosplay is all about how to, and it's great for educating people on fitness and training, and also nutrition, which is something I guess I don't get into too much on the show. I have talked about it a little bit in the past, probably season 1, so we're going way back. But a question is about nutrition, because I know how cosplayers eat, especially when they're at cons. And I just wondered if you might have any thoughts or words about nutrition and how fitness both kind of fit together for a cosplayer.
Like energy levels and just stamina throughout the day, like especially at conventions. Because like I said, I started working out 5 or 6 years ago regularly. I've been cosplaying for 10 or 11 at this point. So there was definitely a huge shift in like just being able to walk around a convention floor, and like sleep quality, and so much changed and shifted for the better for me personally with a more active lifestyle and a healthier diet. Because like I'm very much not a nutritional expert. I'm also working on getting fitness certification as well. So it's just like, I am not a doctor. I am not certified. But yeah, I think the only nutrition specific stuff that I've talked about on just social media has been like my smoothie that I like to have every day. I had one this morning. It's like kale. I don't really like kale, but it's just kind of there for fiber, and pears and bananas, and just like had a wonderful experience in this last year getting like I'm forgetting what it's called. It's like a community shared agriculture thing where we get a bundle of vegetables from local farmers every week, and just having more fruits and vegetables in the house makes you eat more fruits and vegetables, and like you just feel like better and more awake. And I'm definitely the type of person who still will just sit on the couch and eat like a bunch of Cheez-Its too. It's about finding that balance, I think, and having a good relationship with food and not being so restrictive and so calorie conscious that it's coming to like a detriment to you. Trying to create a more positive body image and mindset around exercising, and doing it for just like not as much like physical vanity purposes, but truly a more plus ultra kind of mindset of like, I'm doing this to get stronger. I'm doing this so I can do another push-up tomorrow, so I can lift a little bit more and train a little bit longer, and like those more kinds of goals.
One quick question for you though, if you are at a con, do you skip your workouts while you're there, or do you actually go through your routines while you're at a convention?
Like a convention is pretty much a workout in itself. Like the amount of walking you do, if like this is an actual guitar, if I'm carrying this all day, that's like a week worth of back and upper body training is an Ember cosplay day, especially in those heels. But yeah, I'll usually just like, it's okay to take a rest day. And like, again, conventions are hardly rest days. And sometimes though, I'll do it's my Ochako morning routine is just my regular morning routine that I do that was inspired by a Blogilates like beginner's calendar for like core workouts that I added arms to, because when I was getting started, my core and my arms were the two most like noticeably weaker parts of my body, just because I would walk around so much. But those were where I wanted to improve. So that helps me wake up in the morning. It's just kind of a habit. And yeah, so I'll do a little bit, I guess, with those, like a little 5-minute wake up, because I'm usually waking up way earlier than a lot of my con hotel roommates, because I'm just like, I'm not an early bird by nature, but it just kind of happens. And sometimes you have to wake up really early to do all this makeup anyway. So it's just like I'm quietly doing crunches while everyone's still asleep. But yeah, that's what I'd say is conventions can be their own workout.
And losing a few pounds is great. Feeling good about yourself is probably even better. Happiness, as I say on the show, is the ROI. If it makes you happy, go for it. If it doesn't, it's Cheez-Its on the couch is fine too. And
for my Cheez-It earrings, like I love Cheez-Its, extra toasty all the way.
You talk about, and of course I've had guests on my show that are all sizes in the cosplay universe. The social size is what I'm referring to. And you say, don't forget the victories and the hope. Keep participating, keep holding people accountable, share resources, and have discussions with those you think you can reach. And I think this kind of goes into accountability. Would you mind talking about accountability and the discussions that we sometimes miss because we're too busy trying to climb that invisible Instagram ladder?
I feel like 2020 and 2021 have been hard years for a lot of us. Just like these things have always been problems, but a lot of social issues have come to light in a more like you can't ignore it anymore sort of matter. Like with cosplay in particular, I feel like a lot of us are doing this for escapism and just like checking out of real life for a while. But I've definitely gotten to an age into a mindset in itself where it's just like these social issues are like everywhere, and like sectioning off different parts of your life to try and get away from them isn't really a sustainable or responsible thing. So yeah, it's something I've been just personally working on is being more socially conscious. I feel like I've dropped the ball personally, at least with my social media presence for it over the last couple of months. But I've done my best to stay like informed and on mailing lists and those sort of things, working on anti-racism and just social issues, following politicians and keeping up with what they're saying and what they're doing to make positive change in our communities and all that sorts of stuff. Again, with social media, it's always a fine line of, am I doing this for performative activism reasons, or am I genuinely trying to share a resource? And that's, doing this privately has also just kind of helped with that. Like, I'm doing this to like not flaunt it, like, oh, I'm so socially conscious on my Instagram, but I'm just like keeping it in the background has been helpful for me personally, if that all makes sense.
I kind of know the score as far as, where cosplayers are, and we do have shows about being an advocate and advocacy and what that means inside of cosplay and taking up a worthy cause, which is, in my opinion, the backbone of cosplay. Is it's not just about, CGing yourself into a really cool background with a lightsaber, but there are a lot of things you can do inside of the community to help use your platform for good, is kind of what I tell people, or what I advocate. If I am advocating anything, I mean, I try to stay relatively neutral. The show is called Sanctuary. So we're here for all shapes and all sizes, and I guess as an interesting thing that I read, maybe I didn't, maybe I watched a video, might have been Comic Book Girl 19. I've been talking about her a lot. She's super fun. Donica, if you know who she is. If not, this will be your introduction to Donica, but I think she does mention something about another Instagram platform where they say, we don't allow people who are going to be negative, and we don't allow people who are spreading hate and this and that on our platform, but we're all inclusive. And it's like, well, except for the people that you don't let on your channel. Like it's all inclusive, except you're not, because you're kind of like pushing all of the haters out. So before we conclude, before we wrap everything up here, is Recess. I love Recess. I've loved Recess for a long time because it's the feeling of the show. It's like the way everything was. And you have a cosplay as one of the Ashleys. And I just think it was so super cool. It's such a fun cosplay. And for me, it was like, it really brought back a lot of the old, well, it's not really an old show, but I guess it would be now. It's been around for a while. Is there, when you do create new cosplays like this one, is there anything that you look for in particular when you're going into a new cosplay?
I feel like that one in particular, the Recess, it's very nostalgic, even if it isn't too old yet. It's just like, I hope it's not too old. I feel like if I look at when it airs, I'm gonna feel old, just knowing that date. But yeah, that one was a really fun one. It was probably my first online collaboration, maybe ever, really, that isn't just like a more impromptu like duet on TikTok or something. But yeah, Nerdtastic Mel, who was one of the other Ashleys, approached me about it, and she and that one girl KK and our Shield Maiden, they do a lot of collaboration, so it was really exciting to be a part of their like fun girl squad. Like if there's a nostalgic girl squad, I'm gonna say that's like one of my like top tier, like I will be anyone, I will help complete this group. I've done the Canker Sisters with some of my high school cosplay buddies from Ed and Eddie.
Wow, double D.
Yeah, yeah, we're all fighting over who's going to be Marie because everybody had a crush on Double D. Oh, the good old days. But yeah, that, and we also, it's amazing. It's just such a fun, again, like it feels like how that part of our childhoods felt like. It's just good replication and good, like it's odd to have experienced those shows, at least for me, during a time when I was still that age, and then growing up and getting back into it, watching it back, it's like double nostalgia. It's like, how did this happen? It's layers. But I feel like as far as solo costumes, I really like to do something new with every costume if I can, whether that's like a new wig styling technique or a prop, like new foray into Worbla or 3D printing, or just like making something that I want to make, like a really heavy guitar. those are my goals. And then for the workouts, it's usually trying to balance something that is like a something searchable oftentimes. Like I try to stay more current because I'll do cosplays like BRoll or Mimikyu for workouts, but knowing that they probably won't perform as much as like your shonen because that's what's hot right now. But it's a combination of making things for me and making things that are searchable that will get more people into the community and have like more of an impact that way. So long answer, but I love recess. I love throwback costumes, and I love trying new things.
I did want to mention your interview with Kiro. I'm going to say the name wrong, Riri Pato.
That was perfect.
And he spoke with you at length in an interview. And one of the things that you mentioned on that show was you talked about the Cosplay Jobby. And I've mentioned this before, that it does kind of become a jobby. Because in order to keep things going, in order to feed the beast, you have to do all the editing, creating, the stress that goes along with all of that, and the choice to make cosplay and content, and that fine line that we draw between career and hobby. You know, and I guess we've been talking about taking breaks in cosplay because it's so much. It's just so much to do and to build. But as you were talking with Kiro, how, I mean, really, like, how do you find the balance between the you know, the struggle of creating the art and being creative and having to stay a hobby, but then getting into, you know, more of the technical aspects of it, and the, you know, the things that you have to keep straight, how you keep it straight, and, you know, the kind of the nuts and bolts that go into creating all of the things, you know, the technical work.
It's definitely a struggle, and there are days where I love it to bits, and there are days where I just like hate thinking about social media algorithms, and it's just like so overwhelming. So again, it's that balance. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be changes, and like peaks and valleys and reach, and like what hits versus what doesn't, and can you capitalize on what hits, and just not let the slower days or the slower months, slower years like get to you, because at the end of the day, I think it comes down to really truly, in like the purest sense of the word, doing your hobby for you. Because like especially with the YouTube and like having more of an impact on people's lives, having it be something that people rely on, but also like seeing that social media growth, it hurts when you're in like a slump period. Like currently I haven't posted in about a month, and like you see those numbers dip into the gray when they've been green for like a year and a half, and it's just like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that doesn't hurt. It's not stressful. Like I want to get my video out tomorrow because I'm late and it's like showing. So yeah, it's definitely like you have to be cognizant. You have to be like aware of when it's affecting you like this, because like just even vocalizing it can help. Like talking to somebody like can help put it into perspective. Like, yeah, I'm not growing right now, but I still got a comment yesterday that was like, thank you so much for making these. And it really helped me work out for a week straight for the first time in my life. And it's just like, that's like where the importance comes to me. It's like, it's added pressure as well sometimes. Again, just a juggling of emotions and feelings, because like we said before, cosplay and social media, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. We're all people, we're all struggling. The world is like sometimes literally on fire around us, and it's just like, how do we exist in this space and make something that makes us happy? And sometimes it doesn't make us happy. Like it's too much pressure. It feels bad when we make something and it flops, and like we wanted to like make people smile and have people like interact with it. And it's like, oh, I made this for others to duet and nobody wanted to duet it. I'm sad and alone in my corner on TikTok. But like, these are all just like things that we all experience. And I feel like there's so much sometimes shame around not doing well on social media that like, it doesn't have to be real, but not talking about it makes it hurt so much more. Like we'll delete videos that aren't performing well, or we're like, just going to get rid of that post that we worked so hard on because it didn't like hit any kind of hashtags or explore page and didn't do well, it's like we're making things and we just have to enjoy making things, I guess, is how I balance.
I mean, if you're not doing it for you, if it's too much the other way, if it's more than 51.49, then yeah, you're given too much. And yeah, it is. I guess I do feel bad when people put so much into a post and then they like kill it because they haven't got enough engagement on it. There just isn't enough attention. Like, oh, that wasn't good enough. And I'm like, wow, if I get like 10, like if I get 10 likes, I'm having a great day, but there's like things about scale that I could probably talk on and on for episodes at a time, and whether or not I'm an authority in this space or not, I kind of know how things are wired, but it's very important that as someone who creates art or that has a very strong creative need and wants to share it through cosplay, that you don't get so wrapped up with just the numbers. And they're important, like pay attention to them, but don't try to anticipate them. And if it doesn't go that well, you're not, I think people hold themselves to a really high level of accountability in this space. Like people get very upset when things aren't curated in such a way, organically, like, wow, we're not even spending, we haven't even gotten to the part where we're spending money on this, and marketing it. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being here today. Thank you for everything that you share online and that you share with us on a show today. Where can we find you and how can we support you online?
Yeah, I'm a couple of different places. So I'm Cosplay Workouts on YouTube, and my lack of brand consistency is showing because I'm Noble Porpoise. That's Noble_Porpoise on Instagram and TikTok. I think TikTok has an underscore, but it's all linked from YouTube, which makes it the easiest. If you want to go look at any of those platforms, the little download my free workout calendar, and all my platforms are up there. So thanks, YouTube, for making it easy.
We will have links to the show in the description below. Of course, if you want to check out Cosplay Workouts, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for the notifications, do all the fun stuff. If you want to leave likes for this channel as well, that's okay. You can always subscribe to me. After all, it is free and there's plenty of room. Friends, that is all we have today. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for having me.